Hi, Brian. The two starters who have missed practice all week on the COVID list, Miles and Javon, is their knowledge of the Jets and their conditioning good enough where if they should clear protocol by 4 p.m. tomorrow, you'd be comfortable playing those two on Sunday without any practice?
Miles will be back in practice today, as well as Javon. We'll take that day to day.
Right. So Miles and Savon, thus out of protocol and available to play on Sunday.
Available to practice today.
Okay. And also I was going to ask you about Austin Jackson was ill. Is he going to be able to play Sunday, do you think?
We'll see how practice goes today. Obviously, he was, dealing with something non-COVID related, and we're just taking that one day at a time. But he'll be out of practice as well today.
Thanks.
David?
Hi, Flo. The team acquired a Damon Arnett on Wednesday. Were there any concerns over why he was released by the Raiders, and what were conversations like with him to assure you he's in a good place?
We signed Damon to the practice squad. We'll go take a look at him. I think Chris and his staff, did a lot of background work on him. Felt good about bringing him in and taking a look.
Travis?
Hey, good morning, Coach. Just wanted to ask you, amidst all the crazy stuff around the league this week, and of course, with you guys as well, just how the team and your coaching staff has responded to all the kind of change throughout the course of the week.
I think we've done that. I think our support staff's done a great job of adjusting, being flexible. I think everyone needs to do that right now. This setting is supposed to be or normally in person, but we've got to go Zoom because that's what the times call for. So whether it's our equipment staff, our medical staff, our cafeteria staff, everyone's kind of each department's kind of made some adjustments, to fit the new league protocols, and our players are making that adjustment as well. All the while keeping our focus. I should say, our support staff has done a great job of making those changes, pretty seamless, so that we can focus on, or the players can focus on the Jets, our opponent this week, which is going to be a big challenge.
Jose?
Thank you. Coach, on that same line, do you think you have been successful on maintaining all the COVID talk out of the way in terms of your preparation? Do you feel comfortable with the way things have been going this week, even though we've been talking all week long about COVID? Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is kind of league wide. What's going on from a COVID standpoint, but there's games that that was a game that was played last night, games that are upcoming, and I think we've got to compartmentalize, and we know that's going on. Just as a lot of things are going on, really individually. There's always something going on, and then when you get into the building, you really focus on what the task at hand, that meeting, that practice, that walkthrough. The Jets and their team, which they played they gave us a lot of problems the last time we saw them, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. We expect that type of game again. That's what we're preparing for, a 60-minute dogfight against a division opponent, and that's what we're preparing for.
Barry?
Brian, did Malcolm Brown look good enough this week, healthy enough, where you think he's going to be able to play Sunday? And do you feel good what you have at running back now with Savon and Miles at least practicing today? You'll see how they look, potentially Malcolm, Duke Johnson, obviously, as well.
Yeah, Malcolm, we had a walkthrough yesterday, so Malcolm did some good things on Wednesday. We'll see how today goes. Same with the rest of the group. When you're out, as long as Miles Savon were, see him come back, see what that looks like today. And at least we've got more guys available, so we'll make a decision. A lot of ride on what that looks like today.
Thanks.
Omar?
Want to know about the preparation for the guys who are out with COVID. Do they have an opportunity to keep up with the Zoom in terms of the game plan, or are they coming in today kind of cold and sort of in the dark and has to play catch up?
No, we don't. They don't have days. They're not just totally off. So we've been Zooming. I think what we do is guys who are in protocol, they Zoom into all the meetings. And obviously everything's gone virtual, so all players are in all meetings. But we've kept them up to speed on the game plan, what we're doing in all three phases. We'll try to make those as interactive as possible, and have guys answering questions and unmuting, and those guys are part of those meetings. So. But it's one thing to just meet, it's another thing to get out there and actually walk through it or practice it, which would be good to get some of those guys back into a practice setting.
In terms of game plan and the work that you're going to do today, how much do you feel like you do have 2 days? How much do you feel like you can get an evaluation of those guys coming back in 2 days?
I think, with the guys you're talking about, Savon, Miles, these are guys who do have some banked reps from a full season. So I think, some of the plays that are just kind of core concepts, core plays, core schemes or concepts. I think it's more just kind of getting into the huddle, hearing it and going through it. As more of a refresher, and anything that's brand new, obviously we got to see what that looks like as well. But if we feel good about the way it looks, how it was repped today, then we may go with one of those guys. Otherwise, we'll go with someone who's repped it a little bit more during the week.
Thank you,
David?
Hey, Brian. Obviously, had the news yesterday that Jaylen Waddle landed on the COVID list, just on handling that loss and how that's unique from other times you've played without other receivers previously this year.
And the message, next man up. We need contributions from everyone on the team. It's not a one-man team. It's not any one person. There's 11 guys on the field at a time. So the message is what the message always is. All the guys got to step up, and we need contributions from everyone. That's how you have success in this league. We understand that. Again, this is a tough opponent. They got good players. They played us tough. That game was 7-7, 14-14. It went back and forth really the entire game. We know that. We understand that. They played us well. They know us. They got good coaches. They got good players. We got to play well this weekend.
Please raise your hand if you have any questions for Coach Flo. Omar?
You're muted, Omar.
all right. Thank you. With Waddle primarily playing the slot, I know he's played everything. Is that next man up kind of Isaiah Ford in the slot, or what direction do you go in terms of finding guys who can contribute to the offense?
I think we've got guys who can play, a few different positions. So, Ford, Mike G, Albert. I think we, got some options there. So, I think we kind of went through that. We got that information, yesterday, basically right in the middle of the meeting. So, some adjustments on the fly, and we'll kind of work through some of that today. But I think we got a few different options there.
How challenging is that when players have to adjust on the fly quickly? I know Mike plays a lot of slot, and Isaiah is viewed as one of the smarter guys on the team, can play everything. how much of an intellectual challenge will it be for them?
I mean, I kind of liken it to a game. I mean, a guy goes down in a game, right? And we got to adjust on the fly. So we always have a backup plan, and that backup plan went into went into action yesterday. But then obviously now we have a little bit more time to say, hey, maybe there's some other things we could do. So then, which normally in a game you don't necessarily have that time unless you feel like you can get it run and executed or installed and executed, on the sideline at halftime. But now we got a little bit more time, so we were able to kind of go back in last night and say, hey, this is the way it's going. So we can do this, that, or something else, or stay the same. So I know the question was, how hard is that? I think it's something that happens really weekly across the league, and that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. We'll go to Barry.
If you don't get Javon Holland back out of protocol tomorrow, obviously you've got Eric and Brandon Jones, assuming he's healthy, and Will Parks and Clayton. I know you cross-train guys. Could Coleman and Nick Needham play safety if need be on Sunday? Have they gotten enough work there going back to May, June, August where you'd feel comfortable with that?
I think as a staff, we go through every potential player that could play a different position. Obviously that those conversations are there's more conversation when you have a player who's down. So yeah, we talk about all those situations, but if we move this guy here, then who's going to play his spot, and round and round and round. Can we get this check if so and so's here? You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of conversation that goes on there. So, but yeah, those conversations I had. I think we like the depth in the safety room, whether it's Rowe, whether it's Fedge, whether it's Brandon Jones. I think those guys do a good job from a communication standpoint, getting guys lined up. I think, look, we're dealing with a quarterback who's skilled, who's very talented, who has really played well, and has gotten hot, I would say. And we got to do a good job collectively as a team, as a defense, communicating. Obviously, that starts at the safety position and linebacker position. Those are really the signal callers on defense. So that part of it we got to have right. And I think we're always kind of keeping that in mind as we're trying to put those guys out there.